Hey guys, what's going on? So it is Saturday today, and I said I was going to announce the winner for the little beanie giveaway, and figured I'd wear it one last time just to prove to you guys that it's actually something that I've invested in. Um, so anyway, this video is going to be a little long just because I picked a whole bunch of your comments to share with everybody and to read, and I think there's like 23 that I'm going to be sharing with you. And there were thousands of comments and everything, and I really, it was cool to read everything that you guys were, thinking about and going through. And just before I start, I'm just gonna say the name of the winner. So completely random decision. Becca Russell from Facebook. I will be mailing you this beanie and a thank you note and a download card for my EP Darling, which comes out in 6 days. So. Yes, I will be hitting you up. So anyway, so I want to kind of get started just reading, some of the, basically what I did is I asked everyone to comment either, something that they want to, fix about their current situation or something that they want to achieve. And so there were a lot of really cool things. So I picked 23 that I just really wanted to read. So I'm just going to share them with you, and that's, the whole point of this video is just to kind of share that and, just remind each other that we all have those things that we need to work on. We all have things that we, want to figure out in life. And I thought it was really cool to read. So anyway, so the first one that I picked was Ginger Gerbil 14 from Instagram. A goal of mine is to get signed by a record label because music is the only thing I feel like I'm good at, and I feel like it's what I'm good at, and it changes me. I want to get signed by a record label because I need help getting my music out there. Interesting. I think it's cool because I think, when I first started too, that was what I wanted, and I figured I needed to work my butt off in order to get noticed by a label. And truthfully, there's so many things you can do on your own, and that's what I've learned, doing this for almost 7 years now, is that there are so many things you can do on your own with music and with the computer and with the internet and with the guitar or whatever you do. So just keep working, keep doing your thing, and keep your goals, just in the center of your head, and just always remember what it is that you're doing and why you want to do it. And the most important thing I think is just to remember that it's about what makes you happy, and it's about the music at the end of the day. So as long as you're happy doing that, it's amazing. So we got Halloweeny _senpai from Instagram. My goal is to one day move to LA with my girlfriend and pick up my YouTube channel. I can't do it where I live now, just 3 hours south of you. Ooh, Canadian friend. It's too stressing. So LA is where I need to go. Another goal of mine is to improve my mental state. That's interesting too. I grew up in a very small town in Ontario, Canada, and I still live there. And I've been to LA. I've been to a lot of places in the USA, and just like what I've learned is that it doesn't really matter where you are, and a lot of times it feels like the grass is greener, and that some other place or location is going to make your life easier or better. But all of it is inside of your head, and all of it's in in here. And I read it somewhere. I think it was maybe Tumblr or some book or something. It was basically just like don't let your situation define you, and it's true. It's just like you gotta kind of build that feeling no matter where you are, and just try to focus on where you're at, and even if something else seems better, just try to make the best of your current situation. Sorry, we got a Spotify ad playing here right now. I'm just playing music on my phone. But yeah, I like that one. So we got SayDal _, from Instagram. My goal is to change the way I think about the world and about myself. I want to start seeing positive things. And that's awesome. I obviously, it's hard sometimes because the world we live in, just to feel good about who you are, about yourself, or the way you look, or we all struggle with that, and it's really just because I think the society we live in is kind of structured to make us feel insecure, so that we invest more into products and into media and whatnot. So I think it's just cool to be aware of that, and to be aware that you want to fix that, because it is something that we all go through, and everything is perspective. Everything is what you believe. If you feel like you're beautiful, then you are. To yourself. It's really what you tell yourself. And if you tell yourself every day that there's something wrong with you, that's what you're going to believe. So, try to start doing the opposite. And I know, like I said, it's not easy, and I understand that. But just try to start filling your head with positive thoughts about yourself, because again, like I think if you learn to accept and love yourself, you're gonna have a much easier time, being confident to do that towards other people, and to go out and do the things that you want to do, and change the things you want to change about yourself and about the people around you. It's going to be a lot easier if you have that kind of peace within yourself. So I like that one. Let's see, we got who do we got here? My Heart Your Hands 1 from Instagram. My goal is to better myself in every aspect. Instead of trading insults, do as you said and let the person know that whatever they're going through, to make them hateful, it's okay and it gets better, and that you're there for them. Basically, this one is just kind of about not reacting, I think, to when other people hurt you or project something hateful. And I think that's amazing, because it's super easy when somebody says something or makes you feel a certain way to just kind of give that back to them and project that right back onto them. But I think it's very important to remember that whenever somebody does that, it's only because they have that inside of them. And I say this all the time in videos and conversations I've had with people. It's important to remember that whenever somebody is trying to make you feel scared, they want that reaction back from you. And I was watching this movie called The Imitation Game a couple nights ago, and there's this one part. Basically, this guy was talking about how he was like bullied and treated really poorly because he was different by this group of dudes, and it showed them nailing him under like a floor and like putting the floorboards on top of him, and he was saying like the reason people like violence is because it satisfies them. And the moment you take away the satisfaction, the act is hollow. So basically, he stops like moving and screaming, and doesn't make any noise. And the dudes that were doing that just kind of stand there, and they're just like, "What? What's going on?" And it's kind of that principle of just like, if people don't get the reaction, they're not gonna, you're taking that power away from them. So I think it's just very important to remember that it's good to be passive, and it's good to not react with the same kind of energy that people are projecting onto you. So yeah, I like that one. Charity Sage from Instagram. I got a lot of Instagrams here. I did pick some other ones, tweets and whatnot, but I'll get to those. My goal is to kill the parts of myself that I don't like rather than killing my whole self. Every night I write out a suicide note with no real intention in leaving it anywhere, but more to help me collect my thoughts and see what is keeping me from getting better. I use these notes to then pinpoint what I am struggling with and find a solution or way to fix them. It's strange, I know, but it helps. I really like that one, because it's basically kind of, using your mind in a weird way to kind of, it's all about discovering the source of your problems, and it's all about discovering the roots of whatever, emotions you have or thoughts you have that you don't like. Because the moment you can kind of see past the feeling of, depression or sadness or whatever it is, and, kind of understand what's causing it, you'll start to be able to see that problem as, a problem. It's not a part of you, it's its own thing. And the more you can be aware of what's going on inside of you, the more you can be aware of what's causing you to feel certain ways, the easier it's going to be to look past, those feelings when they surface and when they come. So I really liked that one. And again, like, that's another thing, just like writing things down helps a lot. And I know it takes effort. And for me, it's songs. When I write songs, like it's me diving into my psyche and myself, and just like, even if I don't understand what I'm writing about, just writing it down and getting it out like helps so much. So I think that was really cool. That was Charity Sage. I don't know if I said that or not. So we got Aesthetic Soul from Instagram. I am in my senior year, and I want to be able to make it through with all my credits. There's a whole bunch of stuff about my beanie and hoping that it smells like me. But anyway, I thought that was good. I mean, because I think, no matter what it is, some of us don't like school. Some of us drop out of school. I dropped out of high school and just went for music. And, I think we just all choose different paths. And sometimes, some of us stay in school and go to college and university and whatnot. And I think it all depends on what you want and what you need. And, I just think it's cool to, the reason I wanted to read that one was because whether it's credits you want to, to achieve, or if it's, a certain amount of followers or you know, something else. Like, it's really important to kind of stand by that. And even if it is school, and you know, you getting good grades means a lot to you, then do it, you know, and don't do that kind of stuff for anybody else. And a lot of time, you know, a lot of people tell me, like, you know, their parents will get upset if they don't get a certain grade or whatever. And I think it's just very important to do the things for yourself that you feel you need, and only do them for you. And you know, if you feel like you, I guess, like, a lot of people have told me, you know, like, it's hard for me to spend, all I want to do is play music, it's hard for me to spend time doing that because I'm always in school, my parents don't let me, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's just, whatever it is that you know you need to do and that you want to achieve, like, you have to find a way to stay close to that, and don't let anybody take that away from you, because the moment it's taken away from you, it's like, you're not going to have that motivation to do other things. And it was the same for me, like, when I started playing guitar and writing songs, like, that's all I wanted to do. And it was hard because I was in high school, and you know, I worked at a grocery store, and you know, I had other stuff that I had to do, and one day I just decided to quit all that and just focus on what I loved, because it was the only thing that was making me happy. So I don't know, I like that one, so thank you. What do we got here? We got Married Zurich from Instagram again. One accomplishment that I recently had was that I won an award from the Stop the Hate contest for writing an essay about how I have experienced bullying and how that experience has made me a better person. One goal that I have for the future is try to inspire everyone that if they have a goal or dream, that nothing can stop them from accomplishing it. So, I don't know, I think that was just cool. You know, I think it makes me happy to see you guys, and I say you guys as in anyone who's, you know, a part of this generation or a part of this world, and, you know, my age and younger, and it just makes me happy to see you putting your intentions and putting your efforts into positive things like that, no matter what it is. And you know, a lot of people will try to, I think, make us feel like, you know, just talking about things isn't going to help, and, you know, that's true to a degree, but I think, you know, if we're all kind of, like, aware of the problems and doing little tiny things on our own to fix them and change the way that people act towards each other, I think that's amazing, and I think that has a huge effect, even if we don't feel it right now. But I think, I don't know, it just makes me happy to see that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's all about awareness. What do we got here? Kayla Rose 1458 from Instagram. My goal is to someday start making my own music. Your music makes me so happy, and I hope I can have the same effect on people. I think it's, you know, you are, you know, no matter what it is you create, and no matter how many followers you have, or how, you know, what status you might feel you're at, you know, what you create is going to affect people. It doesn't matter how many it is. And I did these Entertainment Institute classes over Warped Tour, where I kind of talked about building, you know, building a career as an artist, and just, like, you know, basically just kind of told my story with SayWeCanFly. And one thing I always said was, it doesn't matter if you have 10 followers or 10,000 followers, because it feels the same. And you know, 10 people will turn into that many. And I think the key, and what I try to kind of get across with this, is the key is not to ever focus on, you know, how successful you are, or ever let that kind of define anything for you. I think it's what you need to do always is focus on each and every single person who shows any investment or care into what it is you're doing or what you're making, because that's what drives and grows everything, is that individual connection with people. And that's what I've learned, and it's just so important to remember that. So cool. What do we got here? We got Dan's Hearts Helena. Sorry, Dan's Hearts Helena, whatever. On Instagram. My biggest accomplishment is my band writing our first song. It's big to me because I don't get out often, and I don't have a lot of time to write. 3 goals I want to complete is lose about 10 to 15 pounds, get my band on Warped Tour, and keep getting better at everything I do. That's amazing, and I think it's very important to be specific in what you want and what you need to do, because the more you know what you need and what you want, you know, the more you're going to be able to kind of, you know, have a very, very clear picture of it, and the clearer picture you have of it, the more you're going to feel those feelings of having already accomplished it. And I don't know, I like that one because it was very specific, and it's cool. I mean, like, I remember when I like recorded my first song, and I felt so good, and I was like so happy. And, you know, it's just like little things like that. It's like little moments and accomplishments like that. You got to be proud of yourself. And, you know, one thing for me too is, like, the further I get with SayWeCanFly, and the more work it is, and, the more it grows, like the harder it is to remember to be proud of myself and to, get excited about little moments. And I remember that, like, the one thing I realized is, like, I played Warped Tour, and I mean that was a goal that I had for years. Like, I wanted to play the whole Vans Warped Tour, and I got to do that last summer. And I was in the acoustic basement tent the whole summer, which was amazing. But when in Toronto, which was like my hometown show, they bumped me up to the Journey stage, and I got up there and I didn't know like how many people were going to show because I hadn't toured Canada very much and whatnot. But it was like packed. The parking lot was like packed, and that moment to me was the first moment of the entire summer where I was like, wow, this is awesome. This is actually really cool. And I realized that I had been worrying so much about stupid things that I had kind of like forgotten to be excited about the fact that I was doing something that I had wanted to do for so long. So it's important to remember that, and it's very important to appreciate wherever you're at. So we got Riley Baker from Facebook. Some goals I have made are to forgive my dad from all the stuff he's done in my family. It's not an easy goal. An accomplishment of mine was meeting at Warped Tour. Good to meet you. And raising $1,000 in 2 weeks for a missions trip. So basically just kind of a list of stuff. But I wanted to read this one just because of the whole family thing. And I know this doesn't apply to everybody. But I mean, personally, like, something I've had to do is forgive my parents for things and get past things that happened to me as a kid, because at the time it's like going through my parents fighting all the time and not really ever feeling like safe or secure in my own house, like in my own home, just always feeling like scared that somebody's gonna leave or something. Like, that was very hard to deal with, and like there's remnants of that still in me as a 20-year-old. And the feelings I felt when I was 14 and 13 and 15 going through that, like they're still present. And I could get upset about that, and I could hate my parents for that, but it's so important to remember that no matter what anybody does to you, whether it's your parents or a brother or sister or a friend, like, at the time, it's like, even if it feels like it's your fault or if it feels like they shouldn't have done it, it's like, you got to remember they're doing it because they're going through something that's completely beyond your control and beyond their control. And you got to just forgive, and as time goes by, you got to remember that stuff doesn't matter. It only matters if you hold on to it. So one thing with my parents is like, I really, because there's been so much time, I just decided to let go, and I decided to kind of try to make the best of what I had. And it's awesome. Like, I feel closer to them than I ever have, I think. And when I go over to my dad's, we just sit and have coffee and talk, and like me and my mom do the same thing. It's just like, we don't talk about that stuff because none of it matters. All that matters is like the moments we have. So I don't know. I like that one. It's very important, I think, to do that. So so we got we got Becca Russell, who's the random Beanie winner. So we got dear Braden. My life isn't what I thought it would be. I tell people I'm going to be a musician and help troubled teens, but all I can see in my future is a loveless marriage with kids who don't talk to me, a marriage that's falling apart and no job to support myself. I'm trying to make my life my own, but I don't know how. For now, I just keep telling myself it will get better. You're doing what I want to do, and I'm envious. I know your life isn't perfect, but it's what I want for myself. I like this one because, I don't know, again, it's everything is perspective, and everything is what you believe. And, a lot of times it's very, very easy to believe that things are going to turn out terribly, and that's like what makes more sense for some reason. And it's just like a lot of things that we think about are just based around fear, and I completely understand that. But I think it's important just to, whenever you feel like you're projecting that into the future already and you haven't even gotten there yet, it's important to be aware of that and take note of that, and just, whenever you imagine that scene that you're scared of or that you're afraid things are going to turn out like that, just like write it down and like shift it, just like rewrite it and imagine it in a different way, and imagine it, where you're happy and where, you do have money, you are doing what you want to do, because, if you're like, living every day afraid to get into the future and afraid to be older and afraid to be at that moment, it's like you're not going to be, excited, and you're not going to be putting work into it. So you need to like know what it is that you want, and you've got to imagine that that's what you're going to achieve, because the more you imagine that, the more excited you are going to be to work towards that, the more motivated you're going to be. And I just think it's very important to do that. You know, don't be envious of anyone's life, not mine, not Johnny Depp's, not anyone. I always say Johnny Depp when I'm trying to use an example of like a famous person, but just don't be envious of anyone's life, because everyone has the same problems you have, just completely different. And no matter, you know, how somebody else may seem to you, or you know, it's more than likely, you know, only 10% of their actual life. And you gotta just remember that. You gotta remember that the grass is always greener. Something is always gonna seem better, but it never is. And it's just like, the more you have that mentality, the more you're just gonna be searching for something that you won't find. So just try to be thankful and appreciate your own situation. I like this one because it has a picture of a duck in the comment. Got Avery Pearl Frank from Facebook. An achievement I have is being alive and really living. Over the past year or two, I went through some really shitty stuff. When I started my school in early September, my anxiety was the worst it's ever been. So I didn't go to school for about 2.5 weeks. And then there's some other stuff about Warped Tour. And so I just like that, because it's just like really living. And you know, I think there is a difference between just, and this is like super cliche, but like existing and living. And I think it's you gotta kind of do a balance of both. But I think it's you can never be. I guess a lot of the problems I think we all have is that we, you know, we doubt ourselves and we doubt what we're capable of, and we have a hard time believing that we can accomplish the things that we want, and that, you know, there's all these reasons that we shouldn't take chances, and that we shouldn't, like, you know, go on adventures, and shouldn't do all these things because it's not normal, and it's not, you know, what makes sense. But you got to remember, like, at the end of the day, all of the rules we have and all of the things that are normal, that's just like a made up standard that you have been taught. I mean, you could have been taught that. What's something? I mean, okay, it's like simple, and you could be taught from when you're a child that the moon is made of cheese, which some of us were, which is fine, and you could wholeheartedly believe that, and then, you know, doesn't mean it's true though. And I think that's just one thing to be aware of is that everything that you believe, I mean, you know, up to a certain point, is basically probably because that's what you were taught, but you feel like that's real. And that's kind of how the whole world is run, and that's how our whole society works. So I think you just got to remember that all of those standards, like, they're not real, and you just need to do. Sorry, I knew I was gonna burp at some point. You just got to do what makes you feel fulfilled, and because only you know that for your own life, and you know, you just gotta do it. So we got Josie B. There's like the 2 dots above the E. Oh, I love this song, by the way. Dun, 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 dun. I think it's called Paper Planes. Anyway, sorry. So my goal is to survive this quarter working the restaurant in my school and at my regular job, also a restaurant, with no day off until maybe November 21st, and pass my classes. And then I'm just taking it day by day until I graduate college in March. I don't know, I like that one because it just reminded me of when, you know, back in the day when I was in school and like working at the grocery store, and I worked at Tim Hortons, which is a coffee shop, for a year or two, and just like the kind of like feeling of like grind, you know, just like working and like making like, you know, $10 an hour, and just like trying because I just like wanted to save up money for other stuff, and just kind of how shitty that feels sometimes, and feeling like, you know, you're kind of being choked and chained down and not able to do what you know you're actually capable of doing. And, you know, I think whenever if you are in that situation, and, you know, you gotta remember that that doesn't have to be your reality, and that does not have to be your reality forever. And sometimes, you know, you maybe like need to do what you need to do in order to, you know, save some money for something that's going to help you get closer to your goal, and that's okay. But you just got to remember, like, you just got to know why you're doing that, and you also just really have to remember that that's not permanent. That you don't have to make that permanent. And it's weird, and, you know, it's probably been about 3 or 4 years since I worked at that grocery store, and that was like 3 years of my life where I worked there. And sometimes I go back in there and I see like the same people in there, and I'm like, man, you know, I just hope those people are happy doing that. And I just think about, like, I could have never been happy just staying in one little spot for the rest of my life. And every shift that I had there, I would listen to my own music and just like imagine doing other stuff, and I would kind of use it as like motivation to work harder. And so just try to do that. Just use it as motivation. And yeah, I don't know, I like that one. So what do we got here? We got Autumn Rain from Facebook, I believe. My goals are currently to get into college, which should be sometime toward the start of next year. Hopefully, I'm not 100% sure which sort of career I want yet, but I'm thinking of either veterinarian or something in the FBI or possibly something in the medical field. One thing I know for certain: I want to make a difference, and I want to help the broken or suffering souls. And I just feel like that's my duty as a human being. We should all help one another. I don't know. That's just another one. Like, it made me happy. Like, the awareness of just like the fact that really the best thing you can do is help other people. It just makes me so happy to see that, in you guys, and I don't know, it's something that obviously is important to me, and always has been. Just kind of, I've always wanted to do that through music, and just the fact that that's even a part of your thoughts, like, that's so amazing. And I think that's what, if anything is going to change the world, it's that way of thinking. And you got to remember too, like, thoughts they're infectious, and they're, they spread, and I think the more people are kind of thinking that way, the more people are going to see that and kind of wonder, man, like, why does this person want to help other people? Why is this person happy doing that? I want to try it. It's just like, it's something that's like as simple as like buying lunch for somebody, like a complete stranger, and somebody else seeing that and kind of feeling that warm feeling of like, wow, like that person didn't have to do that, but they did. And it's just like, it's so much more powerful than negative stuff. And the sad part is that, like, all the negative stuff that we go through, it's just, all we ever see in the news and everything is just like negativity and fear, and like that's what we're used to, and we forget how powerful little positive actions or positive words or thoughts are. Like, they're so much more powerful. It just feels like there's so much more negativity, but it's like, I don't know. I think one positive thought, can honestly outdo 10 negative ones, and I just say that because anytime I'm ever feeling like upset or angry or just heavy or whatever, and if I see like one person do something really nice for somebody, it makes me feel okay, and like it just makes me remember, like, wow, like, none of that shit matters, this matters. So I just like that one, and I know a lot of you guys have intentions like that, and it makes me happy, so thank you. We got that, oh wait a minute, that was the same one. Sorry guys, I'm just doing this on okay, we got XX_ZMXX from Twitter, so that's Alex Mendez from Twitter. My goal is to get my health up, to get help for my depression. I've been clean for 12 days, thank you. Again, I just think it's cool to have the goal of bettering yourself, and being aware that things are not okay, but also not accepting them. That makes me happy just to see that, and just like to have the intention to get yourself out of that depression. Whether it's your mental health, physical health, it's important to be aware of that, because it's just you gotta always keep that in check, I think. And it's so easy once you kind of start to feel lazy or heavy or sad, and you don't want to go out, you don't want to move. It's so easy for that to just kind of like progressively get worse, for you to kind of like sink into this like hole. So I think it's important to just like be aware and catch it while you can, and just like make that little positive jump to fill yourself with that energy that's gonna kind of start moving that backwards and just bringing you back to center. So I like that one. We got SayWeCanFly, sorry, from Twitter. Brandon, you've inspired me in my songwriting. Thank you. Now songwriting is slowly becoming a daily thing I do, not only when I'm down. I've written the SayWeCanFly song, and so far I have got heaps of awesome critique on it. That's adorable. I'm only 15 from Australia. Another goal I have is to be someone's hero. Make music that will make people smile. I remember certain memories. I believe that music does save lives. So I like this one because this was like, I want to inspire people. I want to be someone's, what someone looks up to. And we all can be that for each other, and we all have the complete power to do that. And I think what that comes down to is being willing to share your thoughts, share your creations with other people, and not be scared, because we look up to people because they give us something that makes us feel better, and they give us something that makes us feel connected again. And that's why music means so much to us. That's why going to see a movie and we feel those emotions, that's those actors deliver that for us, and photographers who take really good photos, and authors and books. It's just like people sharing their abilities and sharing their creations, And I think if you're willing to do that, like, you're going to be surprised at, there's going to be people out there that connect with what you do, and it's just like, because that's what we lack so much of as humans right now, is connection with each other. And I think you can be that for somebody. You don't have to be famous, you don't have to be rich, like, you just need to be vulnerable and be willing to be honest and open about everything. So I just like that one, and I just want you guys to know, like, everything you do and everything you create means something, and it's very important, so just always do it. We got Exposure Mode from YouTube. I like that. I don't know if that's a band name or what, but I want my words to speak louder than ever before. I want to fix the world, and I can't fix the world by shutting up. I like that one a lot because it's true. I mean, sometimes words, are pointless, and sometimes you gotta act, and action is what, creates effects, and being silent is good sometimes, but I think too it's like you got to be willing to talk to people, and I don't know exactly what this person's context was, but you got to remember that we're all, if you for me, one thing is, like, if I ever got on, like, a train or, like, a subway, I would just, like, look around, and everyone's sitting there on their phone, and, like, every now and then they'll kind of, like, look up and look around, and everyone's scared of each other, and everyone's anxious around each other. And I remember one morning what I did, and it was like, I'd been up for like 2 days or something like that, so I just, like, didn't really care. I just, like, before I got off, it was completely quiet, and it was full. I was just like, I hope everybody has a good day, and then I left, and nobody said anything. And it's just, like, weird to me how, like, quiet we are as people. But it's weird because, like, when you kind of make the effort to talk to people, I mean, maybe that wasn't, like, the best idea, but if you go up to somebody who, looks like they're kind of scared, or looks like they're kind of quiet and doesn't know what's going on, it's like offering that kind of, like, comfort, like, hey, like, it's okay, I'm feeling the same way, what's your name, who are you, like, kind of just, like, making the effort to be, kind to somebody or connect with somebody. That's what's going to change everything. That's what we need, because we're living in the complete opposite right now. We're living in the complete opposite. We're living in the absence of kindness and connection, and, the remembrance of the fact that we're all human beings, and that we're all just, like, plopped onto this little orb for some reason. I don't know why, and none of us really know why, but I think we just got to remember that we're all here together, and that's all we remember. That's all that matters, really. So I don't know, I just like that one, and I think it's important just to remember that you just got to connect with people, and that's what's gonna make waves. What do we got here? I don't know exactly how to pronounce this name. Nienke Huajbens from YouTube. I'm sorry, I'm just not good with that. I've always wanted to write a story, like a real book, but I'll just make short stories until then, preferably creepypasta. I really love that. And I like that because I love creepypasta. I love horror movies, I love scary stuff, and I used to listen to creepypasta all the time when I would go to bed, which is not a good idea, because you have nightmares, but I just like that, because, again, it's just like, the desire to create, and the desire to make art, and write, and share, and again, like I say, that's so important. It's just like one of the most important things you can do is share what's inside of you with the world, and it doesn't matter how many followers you have, again, and I'll say that till I die, it doesn't matter, it's all about your creation, it's all about your art, and I just like seeing comments and stuff like that is just like, I want to share myself with the world, because I know it's scary, but there's nothing to be scared of. And one thing for me, it's like when I put out a song, it's like I know there's going to be people who don't like it, there's going to be people who hate on it and try to make me feel terrible about it, but that doesn't matter, because I like it, and because I'm happy with it, and because I know I made the choice to put it out there, knowing that I can't make everybody happy. But it's like the more confident you are with what you create, the more attached to it you are. It's like the less that you're even really going to care. You're just going to be happy that you're putting it out there. And sometimes there's going to be moments where somebody says something, and it's going to make you feel like it's not good enough, or that you shouldn't be doing it. But it's like that only lasts for a little bit, and it's just, that's, again, it's all about the awareness and how close you are with what you're doing, because if it's a part of you, those people really don't have any power. If you always keep doing it, if you always keep making it and creating, it's like nobody can say anything. So I just like that. We got a last one here is Your Own Escape, spelled with X's for a lot of the letters, from YouTube. My achievement is to actually start recording my songs, but I don't know how. Help me, please. PLZ. And then I saw some comments. There's like a comment thread. I think somebody was like talking or like trying to help. But anyway, which made me happy too. But I just like this one because, you know, fellow musician, whatever. And that was a tough one when I started, you know, recording. It was like, what do I do? How do I do this? So basically what I did is I kind of just like read about what I needed. And you can do a lot with very little. So number one, you got to get some recording software. I personally use Cubase. It costs about, I think, $150 or something. But I mean, there's cheaper ones and there's payment plans for a lot of them. So basically just, you know, find a recording software that you can download on your computer, or you can use GarageBand, whatever. Number two, learn how to use it. Watch YouTube videos. You know, learn about EQ, learn about reverb, learn about compression, learn about everything you need to know. And how to use all the tracks and how to record and whatnot. But, you know, just being able to have an understanding of the audio spectrum is very helpful. Number three, go to like your local music store. You know, tell the person working there what you want to do, what kind of music you do, and ask them to help you, you know, pick out a microphone. Because all you need is some software. And actually I have it right here. This is an audio box, which is basically just like you plug your mic in there, it's a USB, you plug it into the computer. Here's your little like input levels and whatnot, and you start recording. So you just need a microphone, one of these. There's a million different kinds, and your software. So it's really simple. And you know, again, if you have a decent microphone and you know what you're doing, and you can, you know, set your levels right, you're gonna be able to make what you record sound really good. But it's all about the mixing. It's all about what you do with it after. So don't be too concerned about spending thousands of dollars because you don't want to. This box cost me like $120. The microphone I have was like, I don't know, like $200 or something. So I mean, obviously I had to save up a bit of money, but there's other ones you can get that aren't expensive. But again, like I said, if you learn how to use your software, you can do so much. So learn, please. Just please learn. Watch YouTube videos. YouTube is like mini college. You can learn whatever you want. You just gotta put time into it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this is like 37 minutes long, and I probably lost a bunch of you like 36 minutes ago. But anyway, for anyone who did watch this, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. I just really wanted to do this, and I know, you know, these videos don't always get as many views because they're like long, but they make me feel good, and I like to do these every now and then. I haven't done one for a long time, so I just like to sit down and just be myself and just talk, because it makes me feel refreshed, and kind of, you know, when I can get out my feelings and thoughts, it helps me very, very much to kind of feel you know, a little more balanced, and just kind of like forget about certain things that I've been thinking about or that have felt like a big deal to me. And I'm currently working on just writing some more songs and making some demos for the future whenever I release more music. But again, I have my new EP, Darling, coming out on the 23rd of October, which I'm really excited about. So make sure to go give that a check out, pre-order a copy or grab a copy on iTunes, or listen to it on Spotify when it's out or whatever. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this, and everyone who commented. I know, obviously, you know, if I would have read every comment, it would have been like a 3-day long video. But you know, I did read a lot of them, and thank you so much for sharing what's going on with you. And I really do. I just appreciate you guys. So thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful night or day or evening, whatever time it is. And yes, this beanie will probably not be seen again in another video. So namaste. I love you. Stay cozy.